Hello, and welcome to this first lecture of this new course on building new business successfully. And this is the first section where we're going to give you an overview of this course. So, in this section, the whole idea is to help you get an overview of how to develop or build a new business successfully. And there are two broad things that we're going to talk about. And first is to understand that what does it take to be successful in a new business, right? So that's what we will talk about in this lecture. So what do you think? What does it take to be successful in a new business? How can you do things? What are the things that you need to do to succeed in a new business building, right? Any thoughts? So question is, I see lots of courses on building great business plans. Is it just creating a great business plan that can help you build a business successfully? Any thoughts? Obviously, the answer is no. It takes a lot of work before creating or writing a good business plan. And what are these steps? So you need, before doing a business plan, what you need to do is a lot of things. And immediately you can write only a good business plan once you have your business strategy formulated and the modeling that you've defined. A business plan is a very, definitive plan of acting over 3 years' time. And that you cannot have unless your direction in those 3 years is clear and you have figured out how would you do those things. And we will talk about this as we go forward. Plus, please remember that. And you cannot do business strategy formulation unless you have a product developed, prototype developed, and tested, which customers like. Can you have a business plan without having a tested and validated product? Obviously not. Now you cannot have what you need to have a product develop is, you need to have an idea of what is the USP, what is the benefit that you want to deliver through your product. Then only you can develop the product, right? You can't go randomly and go and develop a product, can you? And how can you develop concepts? You need to find out what are the customer needs, motivations, drivers. So that's called usage and attitudes in that category that you want to do. And to do a usage and attitude, you need to decide. You need to have some good business ideas generated and few selected that you going to then study in detail in unit studies, develop some concepts, develop prototypes, develop business strategy, and finally write a business plan that will create a business for you. So it takes a lot before writing a good business plan or before creating a good business plan. But why? Why is all this necessary? Why can't I simply start a business and make it successful? Any thoughts? See, before we answer that question, let's look at some statistics. So there are new businesses launched practically every day around the globe. So what percentage of new businesses are really successful? What do you think? Before that, let's define what that success is, because success could mean different thing for different people. So the success that we are talking, what does that mean really? So defining success for new business, as we were saying, can vary depending on the goals, industry, and the growth stage of the company. But there are key metrics in area that are necessary that can help you set up a comprehensive definition of success. Now, what are these things? First is the revenue growth. What you need to have through this new product idea or the business that you want to develop, you need to have a steady increase in revenues that indicates demand and market traction. You need to set specific revenue milestones based on your industry standards or growth targets. So revenue growth is first thing. So you must be having an idea that promises and that actually starts delivering revenue growth. Second thing is the profitability. While not every business needs to be immediately profitable, understanding the path to profitability is crucial. Tracking gross margins, net profits, and break-even points can help. So over a period of time, your business must be profitable. Otherwise, where will this money come to fuel the growth? So you need to have a profitable growth. And third thing is the cash flow. You need to have positive cash flow for sustaining operations. Your business can be profitable in theory, but you may not have cash. So you need cash. So monitoring inflows and outflows can ensure that the business stays liquid and resilient. So these are the three things that are important. There are many other things that if you go and search, I'm not going, I'm looking at what are the key things, must things that you must have to define success in a new business. So let's ask now, what percentage of new businesses succeed? There are five options, four options that you have. Half of them, that's 50%, 25%, 10%, or 5%. What do you think? What percentage of new businesses succeed where the success is defined as having a business that's profitably growing with positive cash flows, right? So what percentage of new businesses succeed? And if I told you that the results are, before I tell you the results, let's look at what are the conventional wisdom on the internet say. It says that the startup, a new business is a startup, right? So the failure rate of startups, 95% fall short on meeting the projections on revenue itself. Forget about profit and cash flow. 80% fail to see projected return on investment. That's a stricter measure. 40% liquidate and lose most or all of their investment. And the 99% of reason for failure is lack of planning and experience. So these are the things. And if I were to tell you finally that only 5% of businesses succeed, even lower actually, the figure ranges from 2% to 5%. So the question is, why do only 5% of the businesses succeed? Why do 95% of businesses fail, new businesses? Any thoughts? We need to understand what factors drive the business. What are the factors that are there that you must do well to establish that business successfully, new business successfully, that is growing in revenue, profitability, and with positive cash flow? Now, what are these factors? Let's take a look at that. So, the first factor that you have for new successful business is what is called USP. You must have a unique selling proposition, a value proposition. Your business must deliver a unique value to your customer that is better than competitors in that category. Remember, it's a three-leg stool: you, competitor, and customer. So, to be successful, you must be delivering benefits that are better than competition and that are relevant for the customer. Otherwise, why would a customer buy your product? So, you must have a unique selling proposition. Then, with that unique selling proposition in mind, you must have a product that actually delivers that unique value, right? To relevant to the customer. Once you have the product, you must have defined for who are your target customers that will value that most. Your product and USP can have differing level of value for different type of customers. So who are your target customers? You need to find the right target customers. Then you need to market them. You need to make them aware. You need to convince them. You need to make them buy and experience the product and keep buying again and again. And that is what will start building the revenue growth, profitability with positive cash flow. Then you need to, once you do the marketing, which is essentially here we mean is by demand generation, then you need to close the sale. If it is B2B, you need to close the sale. If it is B2C, they need to buy the, make the payment and buy your product and services to try. Then to make this product to order to be executed, you need to purchase and manufacture, and you need to purchase and manufacture in such a way that your costs are competitive. Quality is what is you want to deliver in your USP, and you deliver this in time. So cost, quality, and time are three parameters in which they must meet your target, because you might have a great USP and a product, but if you cannot make it, at a cost that is competitive, would you ever make profit? So you need to have the competitive cost. Now, to make product, services, market this, all that, you need people. You need good people. You need people to stay with you. You need right people who can think and advise you rightly, act rightly, feels motivated, do the right things, and execute plans as best for the customers and you as well. So that's the next factor. And then to do all this, don't you need money? You don't need to make sure that your plans, strategy plans, business plans are executed the way they should be by the people in all the functions. So finance and control. And lastly, as soon as you start becoming successful, your competitors will start copying you. So you need to have R&D. You need to keep deciding. You need to decide and deliver what are the improvements that you need your customers are looking for, and you keep delivering over a period of time. In reality, if you're doing a 3 year planning, you must have in first year itself your second year and third year development plans on the product and features. So you need all these factors to drive a business successfully, right? So the question we will talk about in the next lecture is how to explain only 5% success rate, right? Now I can have all these things required, but why is it that the businesses succeed only 5% in a new business or anyone? Why is the success rate only 5%? Let's take a look at that in the next lecture. So thank you so much for watching this first lecture and overview in new business development, new business building in this course. And I hope you're beginning to learn new things, beginning to enjoy. And I do look forward to see you again in the next lecture. Please feel free to message me if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer your questions. And do download the PDF file to take a look at anything that you need.